Hello everyone and welcome back to our monthly market update for March 2022. Our goal here is to bring you unspun, unbiased information about what is happening in the greater Vancouver real estate market. So if you enjoy this content and find it valuable, please give us a like, a share, and hit that subscribe button on YouTube to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. All right, let's get into it. Inventory levels are creeping up, but is it enough to fulfill demand? Let's take a closer look at the numbers and find out. All right, let's start off by having a look at our February numbers, beginning with the sales figures. As you can see, we had 3,424 sales in the month of February, which represented a nearly 50% increase from the previous month. Now, the month of January is typically a pretty slow month in real estate, but obviously a 49.8% increase is pretty significant. If we look at how February sales performed versus historic levels, we can see that the 3,424 transactions was 26.9% higher than the 10-year average for the month. So this tells us that the market is still extremely active and extremely strong. If we next look at what is happening with the total number of properties listed, our inventory, that number has climbed to 6,742, which represents a 19% increase over January. So inventory is creeping up, but that's also to be expected as we approach the spring months, which are historically the busiest time of year in the real estate market. When we look at how much sales have increased month over month versus how much listings have increased over month, we can very clearly see that sales growth, or our demand, is heavily outpacing our listings growth, which is our supply. So this is not a very healthy combo if we're looking for a return to some sort of normalcy in the market. And because we had a larger increase in sales than we did in listings, this has pushed our months of inventory down from 2.5 months last month to just 2.0 currently. To quickly recap months of inventory and what it tells us, anything below 4 months of inventory is a seller's market, anything between 4 to 6 is a balanced market, and anything above 6 is a buyer's market. And 2 months of inventory is again a raging hot seller's market. And the lower that number of MOI is, the faster we see prices increasing, which we can see at the bottom of our chart. The benchmark price for all properties has now risen to 1.31 million, which is a whopping 4.6% increase in a single month. That is some seriously crazy stuff. The next topic I quickly want to touch on is the fact that the Bank of Canada has finally began to raise interest rates. The major banks have already been raising their fixed rates for several months, with the 5-year fixed now sitting above 3%. But this is the first time the Bank of Canada has raised their overnight rate since 2018. Here's the press release from the BC Real Estate Association on the announcement. So, as widely expected, the Bank of Canada raised its overnight policy rate this morning to 0.5%, an increase of 25 basis points. In a statement accompanying the decision, the bank noted that the invasion of Ukraine by Russia has added a major new source of uncertainty to the global economy, and it expects the fallout to include upward pressure on inflation and possible supply disruptions. However, economic growth in Canada finished 2021 stronger than expected, and persistently higher inflation increases the risk up on a continued upward move in inflation expectations. As such, the bank states that it believes interest rates will need to rise further. Now, many economists have predicted that rates will rise as much as 1.5% over the next 12 months, which will undoubtedly have a cooling effect on the market. But this is going to be a fascinating game of tightrope that the Bank of Canada is going to have to play here. They need to raise rates in order to curb inflation, but at the same time, our economy has become so dependent on the real estate market that it's hard to imagine them risking the health of the entire economy by slamming the brakes too quickly. One last point I want to make when it comes to rates and how this affects mortgage qualifications. At this point, it really doesn't. Qualifying for a mortgage is based on the stress test rate, which is 5.25% or 2% higher than the posted rate, which sits just above 3 on a 5-year fixed, for example. So increasing rates doesn't directly affect how big a mortgage you can get at this point. Also, most variable mortgages that people have are what's known as fixed variable, which means payments do not increase as the Bank of Canada rates go up. You simply pay less towards your principal with each monthly payment and more towards interest. Now, 3% of your monthly payment does have to go towards your principal. So once that threshold breaks, payments will go up at that point. But look, there's no doubt that an increase in rates will surely slow down the real estate market over time. The thing is, when you're sitting at just 2 months of inventory, there's quite a bit of runway left to go. So it's not going to be an overnight shift like some people are expecting, in my opinion anyway. All right, that's it for me for this month. Please like, share, subscribe if you found this video valuable, and I'll be right here coming right back at you in about a month's time. Have a great day, everyone.